First of all, how's everybody doing? My name is Patrick Kelly, the founder of the Produce Industry Podcast. Also, a citrus salesman here in the produce industry, and really just an advocate for the produce and supply chain industry. This new LinkedIn Live is, well, I guess new to me. Just got approved for, just probably like many other of you have been approved for it as well. Really wanted to take advantage of this and come on live and really do a meet and greet, say hello to everyone, and talk about some of the upcoming obstacles and opportunities. And hopefully, we're streaming on LinkedIn because we had issues getting this set up as we go through another restream program to be on LinkedIn. And so if we're on LinkedIn, send a note, say you could see us, comment in the chat. Let us know where you're viewing from, whether it's Mattie Fisher's page, whether it's Brent Erenwert's page. A couple people have already shared this live session, so let us know where you are sharing from. We're also going to have a couple of guests on today. We're going to have one of our sponsors come on just to say hello, just as we always like to just have a little bit of fun. And it looks like we're getting the You're On. Thanks, Blair Butterworth from Dulcinea, and obviously Mattie Fisher from JGLC. So I thought about this and I was like, listen, we have a lot of followers on LinkedIn. And I thought to myself, how can we, impact the industry just a little bit more? And how can we grow together? If you know me, that's what I talk about a lot. I talk about growing together, everyone. And that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to get a lot of industry knowledge and experiences and education and kind of build it all together. So again, we're probably going to bring some good subject matter experts on. We're going to bring people on that are founders of companies, presidents of organizations, and really just have a fun time talking with them, but really talk about these opportunities and challenges. There's so many challenges in the supply chain industry today, and everybody knows, and if they don't, they did in 2020, that supply chain runs the world. And if you're a freight company out there, you're sitting there nodding your head going, yeah, we know that. Yeah, we knew that actually. And I think that's actually pretty hilarious, that a lot of people didn't realize even where their food came from. And so we have guys like even like Chip Carter, from Where the Food Comes From, that's, helping people understand where their food comes from. And we have logistics companies that are creating, their stories, right, from rich histories of family-owned businesses, generations after generations, bringing this food to your distribution centers. So there's just so much that, incorporates. And, I also want to have a little bit of fun on this show too. So we're going to talk about all that fun stuff, have the subject matter experts, but really have some fun. We're going to bring, some produce items on the show as well. Why? Because if you're in produce, you got to eat produce. And I'll talk about that with someone a little bit later. But first, I want to welcome our first guest to this LinkedIn live session to say hello, which is our sponsor, John Green Logistics, Mattie Fisher.
Hi.
What is up? How are you?
Good. Always fun to be on here with you.
What's great is that every time we do something new with the show, I always invite you on to be the first, I would say, guinea pig, and you're always like, "All right, I'm down. Let's do this. Let's see
Yeah.
what comes out of it."
It's always really fun.
I think so too. And this gives the industry kind of a little segment inside of our day. I mean, look, we're in the office of JGLC right now in Green Transport. I've been there live. Mattie has the best office in the entire building. Everybody,
It's
but.
so true.
No, I mean, really, realistically. So, we talked about freight a little bit. Mattie's one of our sponsors, John Green Logistics Company. And, one of the, things we're going to talk about, not today, Mattie, we'll make sure that we have it a little bit more planned out for you, because I know this was a little off the whim, but we'll literally be able to talk about freight, talk about the challenges that, the industry's facing in freight, and then, how to get around those challenges by creating opportunities, right? Some of the things that we have done, obviously, over the last year is creating new opportunities through these challenges. So, obviously, We won't get into all that today, but we want our guests to know, who's going to be talking about some of these challenges and opportunities. And obviously, I know you always welcome other freight companies too, right?
Yeah, bring it on.
See what happens, right?
No, it's good to have all different kinds of people in the industry and come together because we all work together.
Sooner or later, right?
Yeah,
Everybody does.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I like it. I like the fact that we have a platform where we can go a little bit live now. People actually get to see my mic, Mattie, and I'm always, if you know me, this is like my second color. I've had an orange piece on here. I've had a blue piece on here. I don't do too many live video conversations because the other person like you right now just has to stare at me while I talk.
Oh my gosh. No, I think most people look at themselves when they Zoom.
Oh my goodness. What? Say that again.
Don't most people just like look at themselves when they're on the camera?
I'm looking at you,
Really,
right?
we're supposed to be looking at the camera.
I mean, I'm looking at the camera, but I have it positioned to where I'm looking at you. So like, does it look, I'm looking at I'm looking at my camera, but you're in that like right above my camera. I always move. Here's a quick tip, Mattie. I always will shrink my screen and put it to the top where the camera is. So obviously that way I'm looking at the top of the camera. So now I'm looking down at the bottom, but now I'm looking up at that, which is where your screen is. So I can actually see you, right? So that's kind of the goal. I just got a comment in. Someone said they're on the LinkedIn Live, but that nothing's happening. So if you're out there and you're listening, maybe Mattie will share it again. I've got a couple comments that are coming in via text message. I'm going to tell her to check Mattie's page.
Yeah, I just shared it.
She shared it.
Brent. What's really cool is that if you like invite somebody on here, they can watch it on your platform, like my platform.
You can watch it on multiple platforms.
Yeah, so it's not just on yours, which is really cool. It would be on other people, but I mean, no, it shows live right now on LinkedIn. I can see it.
All right. Well, I think maybe that one person is on the other link because I had to create a couple links because this was pretty new and we had to go through Restream to do the LinkedIn Live. You have to create an event on LinkedIn, everybody, and then you have to restream it through another platform. And that's what's crazy. I was like, how do I do this? I was on with the helpline with both LinkedIn and Restream. They both helped out tremendously. And now we're live today. But I did see that there was 2 events on there. Michael Fernandez just said it's live. So I know it's live. I just think that we created 2 events on accident. Again, I apologize for that. And I think that's just because I'm just learning how to do this as well. All right, Mattie. Well, listen, I wanted to have you come on, say hello. Oh, there she is. Kim Shakau. She got it. She is now here. Thanks, Kim. I'm glad you were able to get on.
Hey, Kim.
Oh, Mattie's got it. I think she might be on your page right now. And she's commenting from LinkedIn.
Cool.
All right. Well, cool. I wanted to at least have you come on, say hello. We'll probably have your colleagues, either Michael Fernandez or Chase, come on and talk about some of those obstacles and challenges in the freight industry. But appreciate you at least stopping in and saying hello.
Yep. This is awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right. Check you later. Bye. All right, everyone. So next, obviously, I've got one more person we're going to come on. And these segments, we're going to keep them very short. We're going to keep them like 12 to 15 minutes. Why? Because this is the middle of your day. And we want to make sure that you get as much value out of these as possible. So again, like I said, my name is Patrick Kelly. I'm the founder of the Produce Industry Podcast. I'm a citrus salesman by day and a podcaster by night. I call myself a closet podcaster. So one day I'll have to come out of the closet as a real podcaster and get a studio one day. And guess what? We'll see if that'll ever happen or not. That's right. That's my backyard right there, everyone. So again, we're going to have fun. We're going to talk about real challenges, real opportunities. We're going to talk with subject matter experts. They're going to come on the line. Heck, we've got Kim here from Equifruit that's on here. That's another topic that's going to be talked about in the upcoming future is that fair trade. I talk about it in a lot of my videos already. I said, is this fair trade? Is it Rainforest Alliance? Is it certified? There's all these different things that encompasses, but it doesn't really say that's fair trade. And I know Kim and I have been working really actively, and her team has way before me on talking about fair trade. We'll talk about freight issues. I know I talked about that earlier with JGLC. And then heck, what about distributors? What about these middlemen that are delivering to the retailers, right? There's a lot to be said about that. So I wanted to bring someone on today. So my number one episode, everyone, did you listen to it? It was number one. It was the first episode I ever did. Listen, I started this podcast in March of 2020, actually April 1st. And I remember I reached out to Brent Erenwert and I was like, hey, man, you want to be on my podcast? Because weeks prior, I was on his podcast and he's like, dude, just start it and just go have fun with it. So I'm like, you got it. So I thought it'd be cool during this segment to bring Brent Erenwert, the CEO, produce advocate, Brothers Produce, on the line. What's up, Brent?
What's up? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
I can. You know, if you're in the closet on podcasting, can I just say I identify as a podcaster?
You can. Yes. And I'm going to identify as a podcaster as well, even though I'm an in the closet podcaster. And it's just
you're still a media guy to me.
Oh, how dare you?
I know you identify as a citrus guy, but you're always going to be a media guy to me.
Listen, if we were to ask, my brother that same question, I'd wonder if he'd respond to Sam. If I don't think Pat is a citrus guy, I think it depends on who really answers. But man, I thought this was cool. I'm brand new to LinkedIn Live. As you know, I'm very active on LinkedIn. I try to really just be active for the industry. It's not about myself. It's about how we grow this thing together. It's not who you know. I mean, right? Oh, crap, I said it wrong. I mean, it's not who you are. It's who you know. Obviously, that's how we linked up by just, connecting and being on these platforms together, man. So that being said, kind of bringing this together of thought behind the scenes. You and I have talked, me and Mike Chavez have talked, heck, I like Mattie Fisher. It's all about, what we can bring together in real life scenarios, real life opportunities. And that's what it's about, man. I mean, just bringing real life, challenges that are out there. And like I said, freight's going to be one of them we're going to be bringing up. But obviously, I mean, heck, man, you're the wholesaler distributor out there. I mean, heck, you're obviously, one of our customers as well. But I mean, there's so much that we don't even know about what you guys do. And heck, I hear some of the challenges. Heck, I heard from you the other day on the phone. You were like, man, I got to figure out a way to get out of this business. You know what I mean? I mean, the exit strategy, right, dude? I mean, so there's so many challenges that people just don't realize and understand in this industry. And, I think we need to bring it to them.
Oh, yeah. It's like I told you the other day.
With my Starbucks.
Yeah. Like I told you the other day, one day I'm just going to call you up and just vent and have it on record and just post that episode and let people hear real talk.
Yeah.
There's no real talk. How many people we hitting here?
So I can't tell, and honestly, I'm not. I'll be real. I'm new to this. I should have my LinkedIn pulled up on another page on mute, but I don't. I can only see the people who are commenting in the chat. To be honest with you, right now, Brent. So I have no idea how many. But between my page and your page, roughly, you've got about 10,700 followers. I've got about 10,100 followers.
Yeah, so we're probably hitting more than our media outlets hit.
Hey, so you're going back to calling me a media guy now again? Is it it's because of the mic? Listen, you like the mic? Listen, I know.
I mean, you see, I'm in a media room here because it's the only quiet place, and I don't get to work remote. I had to run in from a golf lesson with one of my kids to make it here just in time, make sure I could get on this thing.
Yeah, that's how it should be, man.
I like the backstage feature though.
Which backstage? Oh, what do you mean? The back of the screen?
No, it tells you I'm backstage.
Oh, yeah. You were in the green room. I had you in the green room before you came in, and then you get to watch from the green room. And then we can actually have up to 10 people on this call, which I think is really cool because then we can start doing some roundtable discussions. We can have a grower here. We can have a packer. We can have a wholesaler, right? We can have a food service distributor. We can have a retailer, right? We can kind of bring it all together. Mattie Fisher says, hey, Brent from the chat room. She said, put your hat back on as well. I'm just kidding. That was me.
Fro?
No, yeah, I know. I see the fro. I see it, man. So yeah, man. I mean, let's think about this. And like, if you were to say there's, a challenge out there right now, obviously we're going to keep this very short. We're already at 15 minutes. So, I would say in 30 seconds or less, man, what would you say the top, 3 challenges are out there in the supply chain world?
Number one's going to be a no-brainer. labor.
Ooh,
Labor.
yeah.
I mean, I think labor really is what's generating every issue here because everything stems back to labor. If we talk about freight, supply, demand, talk about the ships that are hanging out in the parade on the West Coast, that's going to be.
I saw that. That was
Yeah.
crazy. I saw that post, man.
Yeah.
Kristen Lawson posted that.
Yeah.
A post about the lights of all the container ships. I'm gonna be flying into LA next week. I'll take a couple pictures.
So parade. And all that is just creating a bottleneck. And what that does, it just constrains the supply chain. I went to a customer the other day and they told me that their to-go containers was some random size. And, people are just dealing with it. That's the good thing about it, is they're basically dealing with it and understanding, this is how it is. What I'm afraid of is that our industry is not understanding this in a few places. And if we don't work together on things, set up consolidation, minimize SKUs, then this still is going to get harder and harder. And the last thing I want is to see people go out of business. I want to see people work together to stay in business and sustain this deal because we're about 2 years into this thing. And
2 years.
Yeah.
2
My
years.
opinion, yeah. About 2 years from you said that first podcast was, I think we probably did that podcast right before this mess all started. Right before.
Yeah, I think the first
winter.
on the Produce Life podcast, I think it was about in January of 2020 when we did that podcast. I think, and really, I think we were talking about challenges and opportunities back then. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, COVID hit, and now there's been challenges and opportunities. All through the roof. We had to learn how to do things a little bit differently, and people think that it's going to go back to normal. Listen, people, you got to remember there's no.
Normal.
If you're wanting like a normal life, then you're thinking, and I'm going to throw it out there, Brent, my one funny joke. If you know me, I'm always a little bit funny, but that's like saying that, girls don't fart. You know what I'm saying, Brent? It's like, there's no normal anymore. You know what I mean? The girls are probably going to laugh on the side of the street here, or the chat room, but it's one of those like mystical things. Like, no, there's no normal to anybody, man. If you create normal, you've created a complacent life. And it's almost like you're thinking there's a fairy tale world. That's not how the world works. Life always changes. You're always moving forward. If you're back in the past and you're stuck in the past, it's like one of my college professors always told me, the day you stop learning is the day you're dead, right? So we have all these zombies and these dead people behind us that have just, they've now said, no, I'm not going to move forward. I'm not going to change.
Yeah, it's an innovate or die world. It's what Walt Disney said when he created Disney World was it would never be completed. It was always constantly evolving, and our businesses are all the same way because it's an evolve or die. You don't change. You go out of business, and a lot of us have pivoted on this time, and we've seen places become complacent or lost, and we've seen others excel and prosper. And that's you have to think, and you got to network. You talked about earlier, net worth is your network, because that's the only people that may be able to get you in a door. And no matter how much money you have, you might not be able to get in that door.
Yeah, money is just one factor. Chavez and I talked about that one time, even dealing with investors. It's like, yeah, money has it. I'm seeing so many companies out there getting all these investors, $16 million, $100 million, $250 million. And we're sitting here going, yeah, but where are they spending the money? I mean, all this money is going somewhere. And it's really great to see that it's being hopefully funneled into our industry. But sometimes I look at that and it's like, there's so many things that are just like, wait a minute, what? You know what I mean? It's like, they need all this money to do what? To gain customers. Well, what are they doing? It's like what I say, if I was to get $250 million right now, I'd be able to retire because I'd make the right investments, right? $250 million. And then all of a sudden, 7 months later, they're asking for another 250 mil. Like, let me get that set up, man. I'll show you. I'll be retired by 38 and a half.
Oh, exactly. And going back to your question on the three things, what the number two thing I think is? I think that people don't understand is a big issue too. And I'm still catching this issue and trying to explain to customers and to vendors, about not cooking off. I call it cooking off the truck. That we have labor issues too, unfortunately. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah, we have them too, just like our customers. So that truck's going to be late, or that pick's going to be not be able to gotten because the freight guy doesn't want to have 5 picks. He wants 4. So I think a lot of misunderstanding is the number 2 issue in this thing. And I think that we've seen that from, we can use the term, the media or the, whatever organizations. People aren't addressing reality. Like I've told you a lot of things that you had no ideas on that are at my level.
You were the second person to tell me about the mushroom shortage, and you were even surprised that I knew about that. But I only knew that because one of my customers told me about ordering mushrooms. So, but it's crazy because I've talked to other people about that, and people have been like, "What mushroom shortage?" So it is. I mean, there's a lot of things like you said. I mean, not knowing. I mean, that's a good number 2, man. What do you think number 3 is then?
Number 3, I think the biggest issue is not knowing, where this is leading and just kind of roaming blind, trying to figure out where the next lily pad is and where the next. Remember me and you talked about those pivots back in the early stages, the USDA box deals and this kind of deal and that kind of deal. And I think everybody's tired at this stage and they don't know what's around the next corner. And, we got all this nonsense going on again now, hearing some travel kind of weird stuff tomorrow that may come out. And, it's going to put more uncertainty, and all that uncertainty does, it spills into the farmers and they don't know what to grow and people don't know what to sell. And it just becomes a train wreck again. And the SKUs get clipped on everything. And you don't know if that clips out a grower of some crop that they end up throwing away. So I think just that sense of the unknown but I think it all just drills back to labor crisis that was generated by too much free money. And, I'm not going to get political on this deal, but mandates and everything else that aren't being talked about in our industry, but ultimately affecting everything.
Yeah, I agree. And there will be a political talk. I trust me, there'll be political. There will be later, because I'd still believe that there's certain aspects that obviously farmers have to get involved in politics. We have to, but I agree.
Unfortunately, they have to, because
we have to at a certain level, somehow, some way. Heck, I used to lobby for California Citrus Mutual for almost 9 years, man. And I would go up there, meet with the governors, meet with the senators and all that. And, looking back at it, it's like, yeah, man, I was like in my 20s, like 21, 22 doing this. And now looking back, and I'm like, man, now I understand like some of why we did that. And then I also realized why I was on those things at being so young, because 15 years later, I can now look at some of the water rights or some of the things that are in California and say, we tried to push this, you know what I mean? Or this is what we tried to do. So I think that'll come, but that's also some of the things we're going to talk about. I mean, hiring. I mean, listen, there's so many topics. I mean, everybody's hiring right now, but nobody's hiring, right? That's another crazy topic. But, Brent, I do want to thank you for just jumping on real quick. We're at about 23 minutes. I've read all these, I would say, different media tips, and they say that normally on LinkedIn, people can only, gauge from 12 to 25 minutes on LinkedIn. Some even say 12 to 18, just because obviously LinkedIn is a business platform for people to get to work, right? They're looking for opportunities. So obviously we're going to keep it under 20. We're trying to keep it under 20 minutes. But we're going to try and keep these between like 12 and 15 minutes, try to be very useful of everybody's time, try to give people some access to other conversations and other people in the industry. And obviously, like I said, once a month, bring challenges, and then how to create opportunities out of those challenges. You know what I mean? Because we can all bitch about all of the, I would say, oh, this is going to hurt me here. Oh, I can't do this here, right? They can say, exactly. Oh, woe is me. These all external factors are killing me. Or everyone, we can create opportunity through these challenges. And guys like Brent, girls like Mattie, Kim Shakal, Michael Fernandez, Blair Butterworth, Michael Chavez, Mary Heslop, all of these people that we interact with, are going to be able to make a difference and really get into this show and talk about challenges and opportunities. So, Brent, really appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you on the next live LinkedIn show, man.
And one last thing, remember next week we got Zoom call that we're doing, you and I, on the 9th, I believe.
I will be in California too,
Oh,
everyone.
shoot.
The beautiful California. So if I can have it, I might have some of the sales girls jump on as well, so they can see who the face behind Brothers Produce is as well. Because I'll be in the
I'll be
office right
sure to
there at
hide.
Golden Star.
I'll wear a mask.
Yeah,
A
please.
full blown, like a not a N95, a real mask.
Yes, please do. And I'm also going to wear a life jacket flying over Los Angeles. So every. All right, big guy. Appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. All right, everyone. Listen, that was it. I want you to follow us on all of our social media channels as I've been putting them up. Follow us on Twitter at The Produce Pod. Follow us on YouTube at The Produce Industry Show. We've got a lot of fun videos. Heck, I just got smacked in the face with grape jelly last week. And also, we have our Facebook channel at The Produce Industry Podcast, Instagram, the same. And if you want to reach out to us, listen, The Produce Industry Podcast at gmail.com or theproduceindustrypodcast.com. Check us out. Be a guest. Shoot us an email. Love to hear from you. Love to meet you. Love to greet with you and really talk about challenges and opportunities in the produce and supply chain industry. So until next time, everybody, I'll see you in the fields and on the horizon.